Hi guys, this is Mick with heartily Bushcraft. Today I've got a project that relates to people who are into colonial era reenacting, possibly. There's an article of gear, I guess, called a market wallet. A market wallet is just a simple piece of material that is sewn in such a way that there's an opening in the middle seam that you can put your hand in, and you can put articles in this market wallet and then flip it over your belt, and wherever the opening of the seam is, your belt will hold that closed, and you'll have part of the market wallet on one side of your belt and part of the market wallet on the other side, and you can use it for almost anything. It's very, very easy, a very simple project, and I hope you enjoy it. This is being made. I'm making this out of a napkin, a heavy-duty, fancy sort of table napkin, and you can get these at thrift stores, oftentimes in a package of 6 or 8, fairly inexpensively. These I got for about 25 cents each. They're good, heavy material, and the edge is already stitched up nicely for me. You could also just use scrap material that you have laying around. They're very heavy material, cotton. So there's nothing modern or polyester about them. So the first step is to fold this into roughly the center. I'm just going to eyeball it and start sewing. I have a sewing machine, and I could crank these out with the sewing machine much faster, but I like to do it by hand when I have the time because it's very relaxed. I find some of these projects to be very relaxing. Sewing something by hand is a little more old school, and I like that. So my materials are very simple. I've got some green thread just to match my green material here. You don't have to. It could be white thread or blue thread or whatever you've got. I've got a sewing needle. I've got this little device. I don't even know what it's called. It helps me. It's a needle threader, I believe. It helps me thread the needle. Imagine that. And some choices of different needles here. Very simple stuff. You can go to any fabric store, any big box, one of the Wally World or one of those places, and you can get this stuff very cheap, and you can get started today real easy doing a project very similar to this. And guys, if you depend on your lady friends in your life to do your sewing for you, I encourage you to try it out yourself. It is a valuable skill. Many times we associate some of these more domestic skills with ladies of the era, and in many ways they're better at it than we are. A lot of times ladies have a better dexterity with some of these small kinds of things than men do, but that's a generalization. I enjoy the sewing projects just because I'm able to make something that is valuable or useful. I don't really like to decorate too much. I just like to make it happen, build what I need to build, and get on with it. You, however, may want to add beadwork or something else to this, and that's entirely up to you, and that's fine. But guys, if you're watching this, don't think that this is for ladies or for girls. This skill is very important. If you were out by yourself on the frontier and you needed to be able to repair some sort of a material, clothing or cloth object, if you needed to be able to make your own clothes out of materials that are available, you needed these skills. So there's nothing at all that is less manly about this kind of a skill. So I encourage you to give it a shot. Okay, I'm going to get started. I'm just going to start sewing on one of the edges here. And clearly I'm just going to fast forward through this for you. But every now and then I'll put a lock stitch in there just to lock everything down at different points along the way instead of just weaving the threading in and out. And I'm sure there are some elaborate stitches. I know in leather work there are much more elaborate, strong stitching techniques than what I'm trying to employ here. Find your own way, make your own mistakes. I may be silly by making my mistakes on YouTube, but that's okay. So we're partway through here, doing pretty good. And I've sewed these sections together and I'm going to finish this edge. Okay, I'm almost done with the second end. This half edge has been sewed. Okay, so both of my ends are sewed now. So essentially I have a bag that looks like this, sewed on both ends. And I'm going to sew up the middle a little bit, maybe to here, maybe right here. Okay, I'm sewing up the middle here, just a little ways. And again, every now and then I put this little lock stitch in, which is just an overhand knot, no big deal. I'm just sort of, like I said, dabbling, having a good time, encouraging people to give this a shot. If this looks interesting to you, just try it. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get started in doing something very simple like this. So here is the first half of the seam sewed, and then I've got this little bit more to go. I'm going to leave this section open. Here's the end of the market wallet. It's not perfectly in the middle. The opening here is just big enough for my hand to go into. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this thing inside out and I'll have the end of the market wallet. Adjust the corners and the seams and other things. And here we have a market wallet. And what I can do is I can take some articles, put it in here, and they won't fall out because then I will just twist my wallet right here where the opening is and put it through my belt, and we're all done. So there you go, market wallet. Easy, easy, easy. If you're at all interested in something like this, jump in, spend a couple of dollars on thread. You might even be able to borrow some thread from somebody that you know that already knows how to sew. The material can be, you can even experiment with a t-shirt, an old t-shirt laying around the house. Just cut it into a big square like this and sew it up like I did. And there you go. Have a great day.